Good morning from the heart of New York City. This is Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast dedicated to one thing to learn and apply to eat better daily. I'm your host, Angela Shurina from Create Yourself That Today, your personal nutritionist, your personal health and wellness coach, your personal fat loss guru, and just someone with a lot of passion for healthy food, healthy eating, anything and everything we put on our plate and in our mouth in order to feel better, look better, and hopefully perform better on all levels. Today's episode is dedicated to another Q&A session and questions that I got from you guys either on Quora or in my daily life, questions that are interesting for questions that are important for more and more people, as I notice these days. A lot more and more people getting the same kind of problems with belly fat, for example, or a lot of people also getting interested in intermittent fasting as a way to burn fat. But let's get right to it. So the first question: what is the best way to burn fat by intermittent fasting and weightlifting? And I'm a huge proponent of both. I do both regularly every day. Well, weightlifting almost every day. So intermittent fasting and weightlifting, and specifically for fat loss. What are my recommendations? How to use it? Well, according to recent studies and my personal experience, first do early intermittent fasting as early as possible, meaning finish eating early. A lot of people think intermittent fasting is all about skipping breakfast. Well, actually, it's not the best way to do intermittent fasting. The best way to do intermittent fasting is to do early intermittent fasting. Having your breakfast, especially beneficial to have your breakfast after a workout in the morning that you do first thing or almost first thing in the morning, and then have your breakfast that probably should be the biggest meal of the day, and have maybe another meal or two as early as possible. For example, I do my intermittent fasting from 2 p.m. to 8 a.m., meaning I stop eating somewhere around 2 p.m. and I start eating around 8 a.m. right after my workout usually, or a little bit later, but I try to finish eating as early as possible. And it takes time, to develop this habit. And yes, you will feel hungry at first, in the afternoon and in the evening, but once your body gets used to it, you'll be just fine, and your energy levels and your appetite and everything will get back to normal. But all studies show that the earlier people eat, the easier it is to maintain lean body mass, the better their digestive health is, the more nutrients they assimilate and absorb from the foods they eat, and the better they perform, also the better they sleep. So early intermittent fasting, guys, it's much better than eating, let's say, at 8 or 9 p.m. and then skipping breakfast. So early intermittent fasting, number one. Then eat whole foods, mostly protein-rich food and non-starchy vegetables in whole form, of course, the best quality organic. But the main point is, if you want to burn the most fat, if you want to increase your metabolism as much as possible, and if you want to burn more calories just by eating foods, so eat whole foods, protein-rich foods require the most energy to digest and assimilate. And then, of course, foods with a lot of fiber, like non-starchy vegetables, also the best foods. So mix them together, your healthy, fatty, whole foods like meats and fish and eggs, and then your non-starchy vegetables like spinach, like Brussels sprouts, like leafy greens. Add some healthy oils, either in those whole foods. There is a lot of fat in whole eggs and fatty fish. In meat, you can also add olive oil and coconut oil to the mix, the healthiest oils out there. And here you go, your best food for weight loss and fat loss. Time your highest carbohydrate meal and highest calorie meal as soon or as close to your training as possible. So for example, again, if you train first thing in the morning, and I'd recommend really to schedule your breakfast somewhere around that workout, as close to it as possible. Consume the most of your calories as close to your workout as possible. Why? Well, first, most of those nutrients will go to your recovery, to your muscle recovery and your nervous system recovery, and your body will metabolize those calories much more effectively and efficiently, and will use much less of them for fat storage, especially if you consume carbohydrates. That's how you make sure that most of those carbohydrates go to muscle recovery, to fuel your brain, to fuel your nervous system, not to your fat storage. So if you do early intermittent fasting, if you eat early right after workout, your most high carbohydrate rich, high calorie meal, that's also going to help you to burn more fat, to lose more fat, and to recover better. And do heavy training more often in 4 to 8 repetition range. More compound movements like squats and deadlifts and bench presses and pull-ups and push-ups, military presses, versus, for example, bicep curls. Those compound movements like bench presses or shoulder presses or squats and deadlifts, they boost your metabolism more. They engage bigger muscle groups, and those bigger muscle groups will burn more calories, and also they will increase your strength, and they increase the amount of mitochondria you have, or energy producing plants of your cells, and you will need to eat less, and that will also keep you leaner. Why in 4 to 8 reps? Because that is proven to produce the most adaptation in your muscles when it comes to size and strength. So instead of doing, 15 reps, try to do 4 to 8 reps. Plus, it's better for recovery to do less reps. You're going to recover faster, and you're probably going to see more gains. And whereas if you're doing 15 to 20 reps, it's more about endurance, not as much about growing strength and growing your muscles in size. So here you go. What's the best way to burn fat by intermittent fasting and weightlifting? Do early intermittent fasting, eat whole foods, proteins, and fiber-rich veggies. Time your high carb, high calorie meal as close to your workout as possible, as early as possible. Do heavy weightlifting more often in the range of 4 to 8 reps with compound movements like squats, like deadlifts, like military presses, like push-ups and pull-ups, versus, let's say, biceps curls or crunches. So this was the first question. The second question is also a very common problem. Why can't I get rid of my belly fat, especially in the lower area? I have lost 13 kilograms in about 4 or 5 months, gained triceps, chest, biceps, and shoulder muscles, but that belly does not go away. What can I do about it? Very common problem. A lot of people having it. And the underlying kind of problem or mechanism why it happens is, yes, you can gain strength, you can build muscle, you can lose weight overall, but fat around your waist in your belly area is different from other kinds of fats, in a sense that that's an indication of fat accumulation around your internal organs. That is what they call visceral fat, the worst kind of fat that you can have in regards to health, and that's actually an indication of problems with your metabolism again, your blood sugar that probably spikes more often than it should, inflammation levels in your body, all kinds of autoimmune reactions, stress levels. So until you fix all that belly fat is not gonna go away. And I would highly recommend, and this is the problem that persists, to consult health professional, nutrition professional, health coach, nutrition coach like myself to help you to figure out what you're doing wrong, because you might need to adjust your diet. And it's not about calories, it's about the quality of your foods, organic, toxin-free, and also foods that regulate your blood sugar, so probably lower in carbs for a lot of you guys, or just the right kind of foods for you genetically, and not only genetically, but suitable for your lifestyle. Then also you want to look at things like stress management. You want to look at things like sleep quality. All that, even, overtraining, and especially alcohol consumption, if you're a drinker or social drinker, whatever, all that can contribute to your belly fat. And again, you need to work with someone if this is the problem that persists, because fat around your belly, visceral fat, it's not only make you look unproportional, it also is an indication of your metabolic health, again, your stress management, your blood sugar problems, or blood sugar spikes, maybe even insulin resistance, who knows. But again, you need to work with someone. That's my best advice, because there is not one reason for belly fat, and it's not about calories. And the third and the last question is, what will happen if you have a diet high in carbs? So if you consume more carbohydrates, quality matters of those carbohydrates, let's say vegetables versus processed sugar, right? Also timing when you eat those carbohydrates, and your lifestyle, your training, other health factors can contribute to the amount of carbohydrates that you can tolerate. Your genetics, of course, like me being from Siberia, I'm more designed for a low carbohydrate diet because my ancestors didn't eat a lot of carbohydrates in the first place. So for me, low carbohydrate diet is perfect, and high carb would never work for me. But anyway, what will happen if you consume more carbohydrates that you are genetically and personally just designed for? More carbs that your body can effectively use for your metabolic needs and maintaining normal, stable blood sugar. So carbs are proven to be obesogenic, meaning if you have too many of them, then your blood sugar will spike, your insulin will spike, and that insulin will promote insulin resistance. If your blood sugar spikes often, that insulin will tell your cells to store fat for later usage instead of burning your own fat for fuel at the beginning. And then if you eat more carbs on a regular basis, especially if those are high processed carbs and at the wrong time, meaning at night somewhere before going to bed, the more you overeat carbs regularly, the more you have chance to develop diabetes, metabolic disease, and your inflammation level can go up, and that all can contribute to your perceived stress in your body, to inflammation levels, and that can contribute to belly fat and shorten your life. So eating processed carbs especially will cause that. But even eating carbs from, for example, fruits or dried fruits, natural sources, can also create that problem if you're not suited personally for consumption of a lot of carbohydrates in your diet. Or if you are sedentary, for example, and do not need a lot of carbohydrates in the first place, especially if your age is after 40. The older we get, it seems, the less carbohydrates we can tolerate in a healthy way. And besides that, a lot of carbohydrates contributes to cravings, to increased hunger, and just not efficient fuel burner. So that's it, guys. 3 questions, very practical questions that a lot of people ask, and I see those problems or interest in those questions more and more these days due to our lifestyle, our food industry, and just the way we live and eat these days. So if you have your questions, if you have anything you want to learn more about when it comes to food, when it comes to nutrition, when it comes to meal planning, when it comes to ketogenic diet, when it comes to low carbohydrate diet, to high fat diet, to fat loss, to belly fat loss, to building more muscles, to feeding the muscles and burning the fat. If you need a meal plan, an exercise program, shoot me email to Angela@createyourself.today. Angela@createyourself.today. Thank you guys for listening. Today's Monday. Start something new, start some healthy habit. If not on Monday, then when? Again, have an awesome week. Have an awesome Monday. Crush it. And till next time, eat better daily.